Our story takes place on a world bathed in the ethereal glow of a binary sun. Two massive stars painted the sky in hues of violet and gold. They cast long, dancing shadows across a landscape dominated by colossal, bioluminescent forests. Waterfalls, fed by glowing rivers, cascaded from towering plateaus. This was Godzilla's domain. Godzilla, the king of monsters, was a creature of immense size and terrifying majesty. Scales like obsidian armor plated his body. His roar, a deep guttural sound that could shake mountains, echoed across the land. However, even kings are not immune to challenges. A new era of chaos was about to be ushered in. From the depths of a bottomless chasm, a new terror emerged. The Leviathan, a colossal serpent of unimaginable size, awoke from its eons-long slumber. Its scales shimmered like 1,000 emeralds, each one larger than a house. Its eyes, burning with ancient malice, cut through the darkness like twin beacons of doom. Its awakening sent tremors across the planet, splitting mountains and boiling seas. Godzilla, sensing a disturbance in the balance of his domain, turned his gaze towards the source of the tremors. He knew instinctively that a new player had entered the game, a creature that could potentially rival his power. A low growl rumbled in his chest, a primal challenge to this newfound adversary. The stage was set for a battle for the ages. As if summoned by the chaos below, a new threat descended from the heavens. Massive insectoid creatures with razor-sharp mandibles and chitinous exoskeletons ripped through the atmosphere. Their ships, sleek and menacing, blotted out the twin suns as they entered the planet's atmosphere. These were conquerors, and they had come to claim this world for their own. The alien invaders, driven by an insatiable hunger for conquest, wasted no time in establishing their presence. Godzilla, momentarily distracted from the threat of the Leviathan, roared his defiance at the sky. These newcomers, with their advanced technology and ruthless efficiency, were a different kind of enemy. They were a plague upon his world, and he would not tolerate their presence. The arrival of these extraterrestrial invaders added a new layer of complexity to the already volatile situation. The first encounter between Godzilla and the Leviathan was nothing short of cataclysmic. The two behemoths collided near a range of volcanic mountains, their titanic struggle shaking the very foundations of the planet. Godzilla, wielding his atomic breath like a weapon of unimaginable power, met the Leviathan's snapping jaws and thrashing tail with fury. The Leviathan, no stranger to combat, fought back with savage ferocity, its immense coils constricted, attempting to crush the life out of the king of monsters. The very air crackled with energy as the two titans traded blows, each one capable of leveling mountains with a single strike. The battle raged, a chaotic ballet of destruction that threatened to tear the world asunder, yet neither creature was willing to yield, for lurking in the background, waiting for an opportunity to exploit the chaos, were the alien invaders. The battle between Godzilla and the Leviathan raged across the planet, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. They reached the outskirts of a ruined city, a testament to a long-lost civilization. Towers of shimmering metal, now twisted and overgrown with strange bioluminescent vegetation, reached for the sky like skeletal fingers. The city, once a bustling hub of life, became a battleground for these titans. Buildings crumbled under the weight of their titanic struggle. Godzilla, enraged by the Leviathan's relentless assault, unleashed a wave of atomic fire that incinerated everything in its path. The Leviathan retaliated with a constricting force that could have crushed a mountain. The city, already on the verge of collapse, crumbled further under the onslaught. The alien invaders, seeing an opportunity to eliminate both threats at once, launched a full-scale assault. The alien attack forced Godzilla and the Leviathan to make a choice. Continue their battle and be destroyed by the invaders, or put aside their differences and face this new threat together. The choice, though difficult, was ultimately clear. Godzilla, with a roar that shook the heavens, turned his attention towards the alien invaders. His dorsal plates glowed with an intense white light, and a wave of atomic fire erupted from his maw, incinerating an entire squadron of alien fighters. The Leviathan, sensing the shift in the balance of power, uncoiled from Godzilla's massive form. It hissed its defiance at the invaders, its eyes burning with a cold, calculating fury. The alien invaders, expecting to capitalize on the Titans' battle, now found themselves facing the combined might of two of the most powerful creatures in the universe. Their arrogance had blinded them to the possibility of an alliance, a miscalculation that would prove to be their undoing. Together, Godzilla and the Leviathan unleashed a wave of destruction upon the alien invaders. Godzilla's atomic breath tore through the sky, incinerating alien fighters and crippling their warships. The Leviathan, a whirlwind of scales and fangs, smashed through the invaders' ranks, its massive tail reducing their ground forces to rubble. The battle raged across the ruined city, a chaotic dance of death and destruction. The aliens, despite their advanced technology, found themselves outmatched. Godzilla, enraged by the invaders' audacity, unleashed a series of atomic pulses that ripped through the alien ranks, leaving nothing but smoldering wreckage in their wake. The Leviathan, no less ferocious, tore through the invaders' ranks with a savage grace, its massive jaws crushing alien soldiers and vehicles alike. Its scales, harder than any known metal, deflected energy blasts and laser fire, making it an almost unstoppable force of destruction. The tide of the battle had turned. The alien invaders, once so confident in their technological superiority, were now on the defensive. Their carefully planned invasion had devolved into a desperate struggle for survival against two titans of unimaginable power. Godzilla, sensing the invaders' faltering resolve, pressed his attack. He charged into the heart of the alien force, his massive form scattering soldiers and vehicles like toys. His atomic breath, a weapon of unimaginable power, carved a path of destruction through their ranks, leaving nothing but fire and ash in its wake. The Leviathan, sensing the impending victory, joined Godzilla in his assault. Together, the two titans drove the invaders back, their combined might proving to be too much for the aliens to overcome. The invaders, their morale shattered, began to retreat, their dreams of conquest lying in ruins around them. The remaining alien invaders, realizing the futility of their situation, beat a hasty retreat. Their ships, damaged and burning, limped back into the sky, leaving behind a trail of smoke and debris. They had come to this world seeking conquest, but instead they found only defeat. Godzilla, his chest heaving from the exertion of battle, watched the invaders flee, a low growl rumbling in his throat. He had defended his domain, but he knew that the threat was far from over. The Leviathan, its scales slick with the blood of its enemies, turned its baleful gaze upon Godzilla. The truce, born of necessity, was over. The two titans were rivals once more, their ancient feud merely put on hold. The temporary alliance had saved the planet from invasion, but it had also sown the seeds of future conflict. An uneasy silence settled over the ravaged landscape. The roar of battle faded, replaced by the mournful whistle of wind through the shattered remains of the alien invaders' technology. Godzilla and the Leviathan, both bearing the scars of their recent conflict, stood facing each other amidst the ruins, their gazes locked, a silent conversation passing between them. Respect grudgingly given for a shared victory, but beneath that, the simmering embers of their ancient rivalry still glowed, a promise of future confrontations. Godzilla, his chest heaving, let out a low growl, a sound filled with both warning and weariness. The Leviathan, its serpentine eyes gleaming with malice, returned the growl with a hiss that echoed through the ruined cityscape. The battle for this world was over for now, but the war for dominance had just begun. The twin suns began their descent, casting long, eerie shadows across the ravaged landscape. The ruined city, once a testament to a lost civilization, now stood as a monument to the destructive power of both nature and those who sought to control it. Godzilla, his massive form silhouetted against the dying light, turned and began to lumber away from the ruins. He had a kingdom to oversee, a balance to maintain. But the memory of the Leviathan's power, of their temporary truce and inevitable future conflict, lingered in his mind. In the distance, the Leviathan watched the king of monsters depart. Its serpentine form, coiled amidst the rubble, seemed to blend into the shadows, its glowing eyes burning with an almost malevolent intelligence. The battle was over, but the war was far from won. The future of this world remained uncertain,